Whenever you want to start. Good morning, I'm George.
I'm Tucker.
I'm Olivia. I'm Aaron. And I'm Navia.
And we are Meeting Matrix, and we want to change the way the world structures their meetings.
So I'm going to start off with a couple questions. How many of you here today have been involved in a meeting that ran way too long?
I've never.
What about if it was just completely unproductive?
Always. Not most.
What about if none of the agenda items were actually discussed?
No.
Have you ever thought about how much your meeting is costing you? Well, you're not alone. We have a solution so that you never have to attend those dreaded meetings again. Statistics show that 5 to 6 hours a week are spent in meetings. That could potentially add up to 512 days of your life. Okay, get ready for this. $37 billion a year are spent in meetings. That's crazy. How much of that money is actually going towards beneficial meetings? As you can see, this is a big problem and it needs to be addressed. That's where we come in. We're Meeting Matrix, and we have a way to make your meetings more productive, time efficient, and cost effective through our customized meeting agenda website. It keeps your meetings on track so you can spend less time talking about doing work and more time actually doing work. Now here's Tucker, who's going to go more in depth on exactly how our website works.
So anyone can create a meeting agenda, but that's not all that Meeting Matrix is. We're going to create a meeting agenda and then quantify those meetings to tell your company how much those meetings are costing. When you create an account on Meeting Matrix, this is the sign-in page that you'll see, and you will have access to the toolbar on the left side of the screen. And we're going to mainly focus on the statistics tab for now. So that could include graphs that show which titles of which meetings are costing your company the most money and which specific employees are running their meetings most efficiently. So when you're ready to create a meeting, you can simply click Create Meeting, and it will bring you to this view. You will insert a header and subheader for each topic that you want to discuss, as well as an importance value for each topic. The Meeting Matrix software will then calculate, based on the total time you want to spend in your meeting, how much time you need to spend on each topic, based on the importance value that you put in. When you're ready to send out the agenda, you can send it to attendees via email, and then click Create Meeting. So this is the view that you and all of the shared people will have on their screen during the meeting. You'll be able to see the title, the people in the meeting, the topic of discussion, as well as a countdown timer for each topic that you're on, which tells you how much time is left to discuss that specific topic. You'll be able to type notes and assignments for each topic as well. And when you have concluded on each topic, you can click Advance to Next Topic, which then fills a progress bar based on the importance value of the topic you just concluded.
Through our extensive research, we have discovered that our 4 main competitors include MeetingKing, Meetingify, Agreedo, and Meeting.gs. This is an example of one of MeetingKing's web pages while creating a meeting. As you can tell, it's very boring to look at, and it does not give a personalized or data-driven website, and it's not very effective to use during a meeting. Also, this is another example of their webpage, and as you can see, it's super hectic, and it's so hectic they can't even spell correctly or string a sentence together. I mean, come on, would you trust this website?
So who are we going to be selling this software to? Over the past few months, we have spoken with many business professionals in the Barrington area, as well as Barrington 220 school administrators, because both of these customer segments attend multiple meetings each week, which make them prime early adopters for our software.
All right, so let's talk some numbers. In the US alone, we have 30 million small to medium-sized businesses, and that gives us an $18 billion market, so there's definitely room for us to make an impact. And through our research, we found that 63% of businesses don't use meeting agendas, so those will be our prime first adopters. And then in Chicago, that gives us 473 businesses for a potential to make $141,000 in our first year. However, we know those are some lofty goals, so in our first year, we plan on gaining 200 of those businesses for a yearly revenue of $31,000.
So for our pricing, we have come up with tiered monthly pricing based on the number of creators in your meeting, which, as I explained before, are the people who are able to create meeting agendas on the account. We have 3 tiers. However, for right now, we are going to focus solely on the Plus model in order to simplify things for our financial model in the early years of our software.
So our marketing strategies to gain customers include passing out flyers, business cards, and emailing business professionals on LinkedIn. We are also planning on setting up a booth at the Barrington Area Chamber of Commerce Business Expo on April 9th, and this will give us a good idea on communicating to our customers one-on-one and demonstrating our idea.
So when we put all this together, here's our 5-year financial model. As George explained, we are hoping to receive $31,000 in revenue starting with year 1 and grow from there. As you can see, each year our revenue is the same as our gross profit. Because we are a software, we do not have any cost per unit, and therefore all of our costs fall under SG&A costs, which include the marketing strategies that Aaron talked about, paying our salaries, as well as software development. And we are planning on growing in the later years by expanding beyond just the Chicagoland area to other businesses, as well as expanding to bigger businesses and not just small businesses.
For our minimal viable product, we plan on mainly focusing on a landing page. It will look something similar to Pocket's main webpage, including a video description of who we are and what we do, as well as our mission statement and a sign up now button. Once you click on the sign up now button, it will take you to a page where you can fill out all of your information. That way we can see that our customers are actually interested, as well as getting their emails. Once you create an account, then the customer will be taken to our pricing model. They are able to click on which one they like the most. That even though we are only focusing on the Plus model for our first couple of years, we are able to judge which one really jumps out at them the most. Once they click on that, they will then be taken to an error message page that says we are not fully functioning yet, and then it gives them a chance to enter their email and another place for them to contact us in case they have any additional comments or questions. We are also focusing on a free trial, which will include the minimums of our website that include the sign-in button, a place to create a meeting, and a place to use an agenda during an actual meeting. However, you will not be able to delegate people to specific tasks, take notes, or send out the meeting.
So with every business, it's important to understand how you want to measure your success, and with ours, it's no different. So primarily, we want to measure our success through how much time people are spending on our website, navigating our features, and maintaining a low bounce rate. And then lastly, we have overall buzz, whether that's a share on Facebook or sharing our URL or something of that nature. And then qualitatively, we plan on emailing business professionals on LinkedIn to generally get their feedback on our product and understand what they like about it and what they would like to see improved. And obviously, we will have some costs that we have to incur. So this $30 cost will be to purchase a domain name for the first year, according to GoDaddy.com. The second one is a $150 cost to purchase a logo. And the reason why we have this cost is because when we're not only selling meeting agenda packages, we're also selling a brand. And when selling a brand, it's important to look professional for our customer segment. And lastly, we have a $300 programming cost, and that will be used to make our 1-week free trial along with our landing page.
So today we hope to receive funding so that we can move forward with our company, and then on the 16th we hope to have our logo finalized, and then on the 21st we are going to launch our landing page along with the free trial so we can gauge the interest on our customers and see how they're liking the website.
So a successful meeting means that all topics are discussed and that they're discussed in a predetermined amount of time. We earn an ability to save productivity and efficiency while saving time and money for each and every meeting. We hope to get an investment of $480 to pay for our minimal viable product, including our logo, domain name, landing page, and the fundamentals needed to reach out to our customers. We are Meeting Matrix. We want to change the way the world structures their meetings. Thank you.
I have a question. Great job, guys. I actually love the concept. I really do. I wish I had that for many, many meetings. But what I want to know specifically is, what is the value to the customer? What are you quantifying for them that they're going to get out of it? Because it is, to spend $25 a month adds up to a company. So how can they justify it to their accountants?
So if we can, basically, they're going to input the title of, say, they're going to have X amount of marketing meetings each year. So they're going to input that title. So after a year of, say they do 300 marketing meetings, if after that 1 year they see on the graph that only half of them were actually productive and they got the work done, they can cut out half of those meetings or increase their efficiency with our software. And therefore, another part of our software in the later years will be a cost calculator. So based on who is attending the meeting and the tier that that person works at in the company, how much your meeting is costing you. So then if they cut that meeting out from their business, we can show how much we are saving that company money.
How do you determine what's productive?
Right.
Through an exit survey that will be given to every attendee at the end of the
For every meeting?
Yeah, an exit survey.
It's optional if the meeting creator wants to send it out or not, but we do advise it, as then we can get personal feedback from each person who attends the meeting.
But you want to quantify the productivity, which is your whole point, because if you want to show a graph that says 50% of the meetings weren't productive, you need to have more hard data than an optional qualitative survey. So how are you going to quantify that?
So we also, like Tucker said earlier, we have the progress bar on the side. So as that fills up, then it will show you if you want to keep it within the hour time limit. If you go overboard on one topic, then it will decrease from the bottom for the lesser topics. So that shows you that if you ran overtime, or if you did not get everything accomplished, or if it took too long to accomplish something.
Do you have any sample charts of your analytics that you could show somebody in your sales material? Because that sounds like what you're describing sounds useful, really useful. It would be nice visually to see the output of the results so that somebody can visualize it for their company.
At the time, we don't have it.
You know, you criticize one of your competitors for being, poor graphics and stuff, but frankly, I wasn't all that impressed with the graphics that you guys have. I know it's early in the game, but if you want to make the thing, eye-catching to people that want to use it, you should work on the graphics a little bit.
We completely agree. Those were simply screenshots of the functionality of what it's going to be, but when we send it to a developer, it's going to look completely different than that.
So, I really like this product and like the idea that you're going B2B. The market is obviously huge. Also really like the differentiation point of making the statistics and the accountability of the meeting the secret sauce, because everything else about planning a meeting and using collaboration tools, that's a very crowded market, but nobody's really addressing it from, hey, we're going to show you how much waste is in meetings or what the results of your meetings are. So you got some feedback here to say, gosh, exit survey is not going to be the only way to do that. Spend some of your product development time in this MVP really honing in on how to measure the success and output of a meeting. The user can't just trick it to fake out their manager to say my meetings are more productive than everybody else's. So people will gain that. So try to figure all of that out. I want to get to the heart of the MVP, which is you're going to drive traffic to a website and try to get people to sign up. So love that idea. That's the right type of MVP for this project. 2 pieces of feedback. I'm not sure if I would give the error message because it makes your system look like it's broken. I would prefer that you say, we're doing an early release in X date, and just kind of, it's same thing. You can just say that it's there's a later release date, and please, we'll get back to you at that time. The other thing is, I don't understand how you're getting people to the website, and what you want to prove in the MVP is that you can effectively drive traffic to this website, and you have $300 to do a logo, you have a website that you're hosting, and you have some programming. But the real way to do this is to buy keywords on Google or to do some marketing dollars to drive traffic here. So I would think about rebudgeting maybe a little bit of your MVP towards driving traffic to the MVP. And then the final piece is, I don't know why this has to be a target market that is Chicago-centric. I know your bigger target market is businesses and educators, so that's cool. But when you think about you're going to be selling this a lot through the web, well, people from all over the world could sign up for it. I wouldn't think about it as, unless you're going to go knock on doors and say, will you sign up for my new product, that I can get that being a territory base. But you're selling it over online, so think about your target market as something larger, and maybe think about it as going just small businesses, or just medium businesses, or big enterprise customers, or test out all of these. The whole idea behind your MVP is to see what type of customer is coming to your world here. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to just throw out, I really, on your costs, just say up front, I think spending $150 on a logo at this point is not well spent. I actually like the logo you have there, other than the potential copyright infringement on Microsoft's Windows. But actually, it might actually pass. But I think what you've got there is fine for this purpose. And I would rather see, that kind of money spent on, validating that this is actually, validate your price point, because small businesses are not going to put out $25 a month unless they can really justify it. So I think you need to focus on validating that and not worry so much about the logo.
Can you speak a little bit about the pricing? Like, just the process you went through for establishing
Sure.
those price points?
So we've interviewed multiple small businesses and school administrators who have talked about really, in their budget right now, they would really only allow for about $25 a month to pay for something like this. But we know that this is a really minimalistic pricing model, and when we expand and we sell it to bigger businesses, like you said, and we can show that we're going to be saving them potentially millions of dollars a year in expediting their meetings, we can price this at a much higher cost.
Okay, I have a question for you in terms of understanding the components of your product. How did you validate that those are the components that make for a more productive meeting? And that's one question. And then second question is, during this experimental phase, how are you going to test those components? I mean, I understand you're going to drive traffic, so let's start with the first question. How did you validate that those are the components that contribute to productivity?
So through conducting multiple interviews, we've discovered through problem interviews that the main factors were that they weren't productive, and most of the agenda topics were not covered, and they weren't covered thoroughly, and that things ran overboard. So by talking to multiple different customer segments, we discovered that.
Okay.
And then for yours, could you repeat your second question?
Well, the second one is, how are you going to test out those features?
So we mainly plan on doing that through our free trial, and by showing that they can actually run a meeting, conduct a meeting and conduct a meeting through it, but only one person would be able to house the meeting on the website. They can't send it out.
Okay.
So that the creator can justify those.
So that will actually be functional in these next 2 months?
Correct.
So not April 9th, but in a couple
That's
weeks?
part of our programming costs. We're trying the free trial, think of it like pretty much everything that we talked about with the software, but not sharing it with other people. So you're only going to have it on your screen. It's not going to be on everybody's screen.
Okay, because I think the structure has got legs there, and I just would hate to have the programming get in your way of testing out that concept. So if you
30
find
seconds.
that your programmer is not able to get it done within this time frame, think creatively of Google Docs. How can you mimic that old-fashioned paper so that you can have some experiments running and proven?
One little last 10-second thought here. You're going to get multiple points of feedback. Cara said, I think the survey idea is dead on arrival. I disagree. If you structure the survey right, where you get an email out, and as an attendee, you're getting dinged by not filling it out, because a meeting takes everyone to participate, and so attendees can get rated. This could be very much like a Yelp review as an employee of, are you a good participant, and are you a good host in a meeting? And that means you engage in this meeting metrics software. So I think there's some things we can do there.
That's a great finish. Thank you.